in all education programs. Based on the BTVET Act 2008 and the Skilling Uganda program, the education sector is responding by making relevant hands-on, competence-based, well-marketed, aligned, and employable skills training a key training priority. Most skills development programs have been reviewed to make them competence-based and ensure relevance with current workplace demands. Guidance and counseling programs have been intensified, and the sector has produced career guidance handbooks that are being used in schools and communities. We need to attract more youth to innovation and skills training. Uganda's population is more than 60% youth, and this population segment provides a potential national asset with a significant multiplier effect on our socio-economic transformation process. If and when carefully shaped into a truly patriotic, knowledgeable, innovative, well-motivated, and productive workforce, we note with the satisfaction that Youth Entrepreneurship Facility targets both in-school and out-of-school youth, and we are sure this will contribute to a peaceful society, because an idle poor youth is not peaceful. We thank you for that intervention. As a sector, we are very happy to note that many young people are not striving to gain skills. This is an indication that Ugandans are now realizing where employment opportunities lie and where skills needs for this country are. It also shows that our effort to focus on vocational education, including entrepreneurship and career guidance, is yielding fruits. The ministry will continue to invest in skills development, public awareness, career guidance and counseling of learners, parents or guardians, and the community, and also lay other strategies to attract parents' support and motivate pupils and students to embrace skills development. We therefore appeal to Ministry of Labour, Gender, Social Development, and other partners to continuously struggle for youth empowerment. Turning to participants, I am extremely gratified to see so many competent individuals gathered here to showcase skills which are central to national development plans, more so to the Skilling Uganda scheme, which the Ministry of Education has rolled out in the BTVET Strategic Plan 2011 to 2020. Your ideas shall be the basis upon which new projects shall be formulated. As I conclude my speech, allow me to thank the organizers of this Knowledge Sharing Expo and all of you present for the excellent show and support to Skilling Uganda, and wish our youth greater success as they unleash their potential arising from this expo for God and my country.
The Honorable Minister, Honorable Wilson Murud Mukasa, he is our colleague. He is our new minister at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. He has served in different cabinet portfolios. He has been a minister for security twice. He was once a minister for security. Then he went underground a little bit. He came back as a minister for security again, but also at one time he was holding 3 portfolios at the same time. As Minister for Security, Minister in charge of the Presidency, and Minister in charge of Kampala at the same time. Super Minister. Honorable Wilson Murukasa, among the so many things and so little that I know about him, he is a politician, he is a member of Parliament for Diebo County in Nakasongola district. Many of you who know Nakasongola, it is one of the places that oftentimes people propose that since Kampala is congested, why don't we go to Nakasongola to have a new capital? That's where the Honorable Minister comes from. Honorable Minister is a teacher, he's a farmer, he is an entrepreneur. Of course, he's a husband and a father and a grandfather at that. This is the mountainous task that I have, introducing the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Honorable Wilson Mukasa. Kindly join me in welcoming the Minister to make a statement.
Your Excellency, the Deputy Ambassador, Denmark, Uganda, the Country Director of the International Labour Organization, the government partners, senior officials from the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, the media fraternity, the youth entrepreneurs of this country, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be part of this very wonderful experience of knowledge sharing on entrepreneurship. I'm really informed that since 2010, the International Labour Organization, in collaboration with the Ministry of Gender, with support from the Danish government, has been implementing the Unleashing African Entrepreneurship initiative as part of a powerful strategy to fight poverty and unemployment in the country. I have no doubt that entrepreneurship development is one of the strongest and most reliable strategies for wealth and employment creation, not only in Uganda but in Africa at large. As government, we are committed to poverty eradication in total. And this is why poverty levels in this country have been declining at a reasonable rate. You may recall that in 1996, people living below the poverty line constituted 56% of the total population. By 2010, people living below the poverty line were 24.5%. According to the Poverty Status Report of 2014, the percentage now stands at 19.7%. That translates into 6.7 million people. It is a strong conviction that with strong macroeconomic stability, improved household income, and the emergence of a strong middle class, poverty in Uganda will soon be a thing of the past. I'm therefore happy to note that the Youth Entrepreneurship Facility and Unleashing Africa Entrepreneurship has contributed in a very big measure to the reduction of poverty and unemployment by supporting the startup growth of over 10,000 businesses and creating over 24,000 jobs. This program's achievements are worth celebrating, and indeed, its model should be replicated. Uganda needs more programs like this one in order to achieve the goals and aspirations of Vision 2040. Real transformation of our economy to a middle income status can only be meaningfully achieved through a strong private investment-led sector, and I'm happy that these young entrepreneurs are already contributing to the private sector growth. Ladies and gentlemen, Uganda's National Development Plan, the first one, launched in 2010, rebalanced the policy agenda towards long-term issues related to structural change, wealth creation, and the productive capacity of the economy. This signaled a broadening of government's objectives beyond the narrower focus on extreme poverty which characterized the Poverty Eradication Action Plan. With most gaps in basic public service addressed, to sustain progress, government increasingly needs to harness the poverty-reducing potential of structural change or shift the sectoral share of employment and GDP in favor of more productive and dynamic activities, led mostly, especially by our young people and the energetic population. Ladies and gentlemen, it is true that economic growth is required to create jobs to employ the working poor and their children. Change, however, must start with the young people themselves. Change their mindset and embrace our work culture and abandon the beggar mentality, which is extremely counterproductive. We need, like never before, a youth population that must cease to be consumers of wealth and become innovators of new technology and methods of doing things differently so that they are creators of wealth. We need to see young people embrace the various government interventions and especially benefit from the growth of the agro-processing, the financial services, telecommunication, transport and storage services, a liberalized service sector, a fast-growing housing and tourism sector, among other interventions. You may want to note that the broad distribution of economic opportunities is not only important for reducing poverty, but is also critical for sustaining growth and structural change. It is true that growth without improvements for the poorest households can be self-limiting, mainly due to the smaller domestic markets. On the other hand, broad-based growth driven by the agricultural sector allows for a larger pool of domestic savings to facilitate an expansion in private investment, while stronger domestic demand and relatively cheap agricultural commodities ensure high investment returns and strong employment growth. This implies that productivity growth and improved markets integration in the agricultural sector are critical for both poverty reduction and structural change. I'm very happy that many of you beneficiaries of this program constituted yourselves in strong farmer groups, and we are giving birth to the emergency of professionally managed agribusiness with a strong inclination on agro-processing and adding value to your products. That is the way to go. We must stop exporting unprocessed products. Let's add value to our products and make a difference. Like our president has said many times, if we export raw materials, we're exporting jobs and actually donating to developed economies. On infrastructure development, ladies and gentlemen, government is strongly committed to investment in physical infrastructure development that is intended to help sustain economic growth and create productive and stable employment opportunities to Uganda's growing labor force. And this will eventually deliver socio-economic transformation as articulated in Vision 2040. On complementary strategies by government, it is by now clear that the government is contemplating its strategy for economic growth with targeted interventions to build the productive capabilities and resilience of vulnerable households. These interventions include the Youth Venture Capital Fund that has so far benefited 13,000 youth to a tune of 41 billion Uganda shillings. The Youth Livelihood Program, which has so far supported over 49,000 groups to a tune of about 26 billion Uganda shillings. The Skilling Uganda Program and direct support incomes, among others. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to thank the International Labour Organization and its entire team for the proper coordination and technical support which it has provided to the various stakeholders under this program. More thanks also go to the Danish government, through you, Your Excellency, the Ambassador, for your support, which has come a long way in cushioning the young people against poverty and made them self-sustaining. Your support has also contributed tremendously to training young entrepreneurs and developing first-class entrepreneurship training manuals. For all the above, we thank you. Like Oliver Christ, we ask for more as we look forward to our continued collaboration and partnership in building a better and efficient world. It is now my honor, on behalf of the government of the Republic of Uganda, to declare this one-day Knowledge Sharing Expo on youth entrepreneurship to be open and continue. Thank you for God.
I'm going to count from 5 to 0 and we'll cut the cake. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Some information on the program achievements, but what you see inside is the partnerships that were built, partnerships that assisted the project to achieve the tremendous results that we have had. We know that there are so many partners who do not provide a special recognition for all of them, but these are just receiving on behalf of the several partners that we worked with. There are, of course, individuals that are not going to receive awards, and these are ILO staff. But I just want you to see them. ILO staff that are based in Uganda here, but also working for the project. She's from the Embassy of Denmark. She was representing the embassy in the advisory committee. We have Solomon Kaiwa. We have John Emerald Okum. Can you please come up front and wait to receive your awards that will be given? Mr. Daniel Joloba from Enterprise Uganda. Douglas Opio from Federation of Uganda Employers. Can you show one of the awards, what it looks like? Patrick Katende. Friday Madina from Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. William Mugerwa, who was working at the embassy when he started. Francis Katekamondo, who is our master of ceremony, who I think you can agree that he deserves 2 awards. Christopher Kiwanuka from Heislink. David Mulia, one of the BDS providers. Godfrey Walakira from Straight Talk. Diana Ntamundagire and Madina Gulova from EPRC. Can you show, have you shown the award? Let me open one. This is the award to National Advisory Committee members. Can we clap in recognition? Thank you very much. I think the individual awards to National Advisory Committee members look like this. Thank you. When you come, you introduce yourself and your organization to the people awarding. This is the award for Mr. Mondo. Okay. Thank you very much. Shall we give a huge clap for the individuals that received awards? We haven't finished. We appreciate the role played by organizations and institutions that played a role in supporting different youth activities in the different program components that you see in your folders. And we have the following organizations that are being recognized for outstanding contribution and tremendous support to the ILO Entrepreneurship Facility from 2010 and 2015. We have representatives from these organizations. Can you come up and receive the awards? NCDC, National Curriculum Development Center, we're working with them on entrepreneurship education. Shall we clap for them? The Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, we have been with them throughout, and they were chairing the advisory committee. Now, these awards are not supposed to go to you, Mr. Mondo, to your house. They should go to the Ministry Permanent Secretary. There is another award for Department for Youth and Children Affairs, because that is the department where Madina and Mondo are coming from. We have a Federation of Uganda Employers. These are our social partners, FUE, representing the private sector. Federation of Uganda Employers, FUE. Can somebody come? I saw somebody. Central Organization of Free Trade Unions, COF2. National Organization of Trade Unions, NOTU. Centenary Bank. They were our partner. They are our partner on providing access to finance. Royal Danish Embassy, of course, for the financial support to the war facility to make it happen. These are the special awards for outstanding contribution and tremendous support to the ILO Entrepreneurship Facility. Yes, Pamela, come and receive for the okay, for the embassy. Okay. The last category of awards are these are our awards that are given to our implementing partners. These were partners that we worked with that made significant contribution to the numbers that you heard. Numbers reached through BDS training, numbers reached through jobs created. These are at partner level, and we have 13 organizations. BDS Providers Network, this is the Association of Business Development Service Providers, representing more than 300 BDS providers that were trained, master trainers, SIYB trainers, Get Ahead trainers. This is the chairman of the BDS Providers Network, and they are also exhibiting. Enterprise Uganda, they are our partner in terms of especially the training and also the business plan competition that was being done. Thank you, Rosemary, for coming. Wazalendo Sacco. This is the biggest Sacco in Uganda. Actually, you see him in civilian clothing. During training, they were all coming in military fatigue, and they had guns on their side. But they are partnering to provide business development support to members who are in barracks and also their families and their children. Entrepreneurship Center moves. Makerere Investing Business Center, who were providing support in terms of adjudicating for recipients of the Y2Y grantees and also entrepreneurship training. CTFU, who were working with us on entrepreneurship culture promotion through radio stations, spreading the positive message on entrepreneurship through radio stations. CTFU, we have PEDN, Private Education Development Network. CTFU, do we have a CTFU representative here?